Good YouTube. Quinn Wade comes out with that instant hot topic basketball analysis on Analysis Playground on YouTube, exclusively on air forever. We're going to talk about the biggest news today as of right now, and that's Ja Morant finally getting traded for Memphis and getting a chance to redeem himself, possibly with the Portland Trailblazers. Um, this is crazy, seeing that it's official. We knew he wanted out. We knew they were trying to get rid of him, and now it's final. Memphis traded Jerami Grant and Kris Murray to get this deal done. The Grizzlies have shot Ja Morant extensively as they look to completely move on from his era of the team. They already got rid of Desmond Bain. They already got rid of Jaren Jackson Jr. and Dylan Brooks. Morant is signed for the 2026-2027 season for $42 million, and for the 27-29 at $44 million. Morant signed a 5-year, $197 million contract extension in July 2022. For the people that didn't know that, the sad part about Ja Morant is he hasn't been on the court that much. Morant appeared in just 20 games last season for the Memphis Grizzlies. Still gave you 19 points and 3 rebounds and 8 assists, which is still good numbers. He did all of that while playing only 28 minutes. And he had some more injuries last season. And, I mean, the trade rumors got so huge that I had to make a video about it, saying that he's almost out of the door. And now it's official. But don't forget, Morant was also suspended for one game in November of last season due to a heated confrontation with the coach, which is unfortunate. And that came with the loss to LA. The Lakers ended up seeing that confrontation as well and knowing about it. And since it went public and the way he handled himself was a little immature, they had to suspend him for that reason. Comment detrimental to the team, I believe it was. Morant will join a Portland team that will also add Damian Lillard back from his torn Achilles. We don't know how he's going to play. We don't know how he's going to look out there on the court. But having Ja Morant is still a good thing because Dame is more of a shooter that can also score a little bit off the dribble. We don't know if he can still do that after Achilles tear, but we shall see. But we know for sure Ja Morant got this whole off season to get his body right, to get his mind right, and he is going to get a fresh new start with this Portland Trailblazer team. Is either going to resurrect his career or damper his career, and it only can get worse from there if he can't turn around his whole narrative and his whole image as of right now as an NBA basketball star. I mean, you can give me 19 and 8, you still a star in the league. That's something that I will say in his defense. But at the same time, the prove-it contracts and the prove-it moments is what made the great ones great and the other ones diminish. And Morant, based off the fact that he was the number 2 pick in the 2019 NBA draft, based off the fact that he's only 26 years old, 6'2", 174 pounds, it all makes sense that a team would still believe in him, that he can turn things around and still be a good player for their organization and their team. He did shoot 41% from the field. His field goal percentage went down the last 2 seasons compared to 47% in the 23-24 season. The problem with that season is he played only 9 games, and then the next season he only played 50, and then the seasons before that he played 61, 57, 63, and 67, meaning he never even played 70 games in his entire career. And that's a problem. That's a bad thing. Not only that, he never was a great three-point shooter in any of his seasons in the NBA. and also wasn't the greatest mid-range shooter. He was a good floater guy, a good get all the way to the basket and figure out how to finish, or get to the free throw line, where he did a couple times in his career shooting the 80s. The last 3 seasons, honestly, he was able to do it, but he has to continue to show that he can do that again throughout the rest of his career if he wants to be a Hall of Famer, which most of us thought he was on pace to become one. How his career ended up starting. He also gave you a steal a game, which is good. If he's on the court, he was looking to get them, and he was able to get them the last 2 seasons, especially. Even though he didn't play as many games you would like, and his turnover ratio has been too high, as he's been 3 turnovers a game his entire career also. And on top of that, his career average is 22 a game. So this dude knows how to score. He knows how to get it done. He knows how to find gaps in the defense. He knows how to get close to the basket. He knows how to draw contact. He knows how to use his first step. He can hit a jumper from time to time. He can kill you in transition as defenders. And he can also make the pass or get all the way to the basket. And those things that hasn't gone away. He just has more trouble since the injuries doing it consistently. But this guy can play the game of basketball. That's basically what I'm saying. He's still going to figure out how to be effective. He might not be efficient, but he's going to show the world that he still can play. He just needed to get out of Memphis. He needs to get with a team that's more disciplined, more strict, more demanding, and just asking of him to do more. And I feel like Portland is that type of team. They showed that last year, and that's what he needs to get back on track and get his mind back focused on the game of basketball, so he can become an all-star again, even if it's with the Blazers, even in the future with another team. He has a chance to still show that he got it. And a lot of people would die for that opportunity to show that they still are the player that they believe they are, and still had opportunity that a team believes the same. Is that hard to make it to the NBA? Is that hard in general to be an all-star or a star in the league? And he has a chance to show that he is one of the best players at his position and in the NBA in general. I don't know if he's going to do it, but he has the opportunity with the Blazers to get that done if it happens. When you look at the Blazers roster, though, they have a whole lot of guards, and that is going to be something to watch out for. I mean, they do have guys like Dame, like I said before, Drew Holiday as well. They also have Caleb Love, Matisse Thybulle, Chris Youngblood. They also have Shaedon Sharpe. So they have a lot of guards that is going to be looking for minutes. Some people will even consider City and Scoot Henderson other pieces that are most likely getting moved. I've seen some other rumors about some other players possibly getting traded to Portland. We'll see how many picks and players they're willing to send in a different direction to change this roster again this summer before going into training camp and preseason with this roster on paper just would make sense. They have a lot of holes still on their roster, free agent wise, and just positional fit wise is something that they need to figure out still. But they have a roster that should still be able to compete for a playoff spot if guys are healthy and playing their game like they did last year and doing it within a team concept. And that's something I'm not going to question. But when you look at all the guards they have, when you look at, the lack of, do-it-all wings, somebody's going to have to play out of position. And if they don't, is Denny going to take the same type of role that he had? I mean, him and Ja Morant both can't have the ball in their hands. Denny did a good job of facilitating and scoring and getting to the basket and collapsing the defense. Ja Morant likes to do the same. The only problem is Denny isn't the greatest shooter. And there's a lot of guys that still can play on the perimeter, but they're not really consistent at being shooters as well. They can make a three, here and there, but they're not going to do it to hurt you a lot on this particular roster as of right now. So I do expect more changes. I do expect more things to happen, even if it's during the regular season before the trade deadline, for this roster to make more sense. But Ja Morant was a guy that has really been one of the better players at some point in his career. Um, Not only that, um, Tom and ended up hiring Micah Nori. That's going to be their coach. We don't know how long he's going to be in Portland. He has a guaranteed deal for the first year, and the next 2 years aren't guaranteed. So that's something to watch out for. They might not have coach stability either. And we, like I said before, John Morant got into a confrontation with a coach before, and he got suspended 1 game for it. We'll see how he takes the coaching of Micah next season under Portland if he's on the roster. The Blazers have active in trade discussions also this season in talks with the Boston Celtics on Jaylen Brown, but nothing has been confirmed about him actually getting traded to Portland just yet. Grant is signed at a $34 million contract for the 26-27 season, and he has a player option for the 27-28 season at $37 million. They had to use Jerami Grant contract and Kris Murray to make the numbers work to make this trade possible. Jerami Grant is still a solid player. Like, he still can play. He can knock down a three. He can get to the basket. He's still a long, lanky player. I like Jerami Grant a whole lot. He is one of the better wings in the league for what he can still do at his age. And I think that they're going to like having him for however long it is. I don't obviously think he's going to be at Memphis for a long period of time. But if a guy can give you 18, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 45% shooting from the field, while also giving you 38% shooting from 3 on 6 attempts a game, a long, rangy wing defender that can space the floor. He can also get to the free throw line by putting the ball on the floor and initiating contact or attacking aggressively off the dribble. Has been an 80% free throw shooter a couple years in a row. Not only that, still a good helper on the rebounds, keeps the ball moving as a player on the team if he doesn't have a good shot, and is a reliable scorer no matter where he has been the last couple seasons in the NBA. Other than that, he's 32 years old. He's 6'7", 213 pounds. And he's still going to be a good helper no matter what team he's on. And the Grizzlies should be happy to have him as of now. But like I said before, I don't think that that's going to be something that's going to matter too much in the future, because obviously this team, the Grizzlies, are not in a situation where they can win with the roster they currently have. They have a lot of good players, but not a lot of great ones. And they just have to figure out how to get a superstar all over again, which isn't easy, but that's the fun thing to see who is going to be and how they're going to get that guy, whether it's a draft, free agency, or a trade-in. Kris Murray, 6'8", 218 pounds. He's 25. He didn't really have the greatest start to his career. He did play 62, 69, and 57 games the last 3 seasons, since he's going into his 4th year after the off season. But he hasn't really been the greatest scorer. He hasn't been the greatest shooter. He still do have upside. He still do have potential as a player, good body, a guy that has shown that he can be a transition player. He can be a guy that can get to the basket from time to time. He's trying to work on his three-point shooting because teams are allowing him to get open because they don't believe he can make it. And that's something he's going to have to work on and improve and actually do successfully if he's going to have a longevity type of career in the league, which is 10 years or more. Other than that, the Grizzlies just wanted to do whatever they could to get off the Ja Morant contract, and they didn't get a lot in return. But they don't have Ja Morant, who doesn't want to be there, and they just don't want him on the roster or on the team anymore. So this is what they had to take to get off his contract and not take anything back. That's crazy, while also not including picks to get off of his contract to get him out of Memphis and off the roster. So this is what they ended up getting. This is how it ended up going. And all I can say is it's finally over. The nightmare of Ja Morant is finally over. Now we get to see if he can resurrect his career, become a superstar or all-star again before his career is over, and see if he can still be a Hall of Famer. You know, the injuries took a toll on him, made him a little slower, made him a little less explosive, made him a little bit more predictable. But that's why you got to make changes, counters, and adjustments to how the defense is guarding you and how they want to guard you. And then you just have to play your game and do your thing and hope things work out for you. And hopefully he can do things to stay on the court instead of finding ways to stay off the court, even if it's not injury related, and just take his job of being an NBA and a basketball player more serious. If he do them things, he'd be happier. If he do them things, it'd be more fruitful for him, and that's all you can really want from him. You know, he was a guy that was hella competitive, a guy that really was talking the talk and really showing you that he could help a team be something dangerous in the league. And then it just changed within the last couple years so quickly that people might not even remember him for some of the things he was doing and some of the things he was saying while he was in Memphis. But he didn't back it up. He didn't get it done. And now we have to see what goes on with his story the next couple years wherever he's at, including being in Portland to start this new adventure, when it comes to trying to change his image and how people remember him. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell to get the analysis when it first come out. Y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good. Peace. And I'll see y'all later today with more analysis on the hottest things in the NBA or whatever comes up. Peace.